Hi Sasha, thanks for coming on to my video today to talk to everyone about our program and our language coaching. And I know we've been doing this for about 2.5 months now. So I just want to basically share with anyone who is maybe thinking about coming into one of the programs that I offer or just is interested in what we do over here, and what it actually looks like within the coaching programs. So could you tell me a little bit about about your background, like your language background, your education background, and I guess we'll start from the beginning of like why you chose to do this program in the first place, what you saw in it that would help you.
Oh yeah. Hi Sarah. That's a great question, and I'm very happy to share all of that experience with you and with your audience and with everybody who's gonna watch the video. So, a little bit about my background. I'm originally from Ukraine, from Kiev, and I work here, and I graduated from Kiev National Linguistic University with a master's degree in translation and interpretation of English. And I had been working as an interpreter first place, and after that I traveled a lot. I went to Sweden, France, Luxembourg, and the United States of America, where I studied in the Servant Leadership Academy in Portland, Oregon. And then I decided to teach English as a second language to students of other languages, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm very excited about that. But as far as I have a different degree, I wanted to pursue. That's right. I wanted to pursue my teaching career and to become a TESOL instructor. Therefore, when I was looking for tutors or for different colleges or universities, I found your website. First of all, I found your YouTube channel.
Great.
And then I saw that your major goal is to help people learn how to learn. I mean, you teach them how to learn, and then you teach them these 4 skills, which I was looking for. Those are speaking, reading, writing, and listening.
Yeah.
And that was an eye-opener for me. That was like, wow, that's what I was looking for. So that's why I'm very happy to be here. And we have had our 2.5 months program so far, and I'm very happy. Really, I'm super happy to be here and to have that experience.
Your background then, like coming from translation into teaching, what would you say has been like, what's the challenge coming from that area, coming from like the linguistic background to the teaching background? Because what we've worked on is there's a lot of the strategies in learning, and of course, even though your English is like such a high level already and you're an English teacher, you know, we've worked at just like more practice, just how like even I still work on improving my English even though I'm a native speaker, like reading and writing more in my language and getting comfortable with it. What would you say you've learned most about teaching from like that you maybe didn't have, even though you had that linguistic background and you had the background in the structure? What have you learned about teaching and like through a program, teaching and also developing your own skills?
Well, teaching is different from translating and interpretation. Definitely, that's a totally different area. And you need to have skills and knowledge to work with students. And you need to learn the skills first of all. And those skills which I was looking for, and mainly those are writing, reading, speaking, listening. And so as a teacher or coach, I would say, because you are my coach, as a coach, you teach these skills. And I was looking for those skills to learn, first of all, because I mean, one thing is that when you're just speaking or translating, another thing is that when you help other students to learn a language, and that's totally different from just translation.
So using these skills then, like how do you, because you also teach right now, so you're practicing these skills and then you work with me and we discuss them in our meetings, and then we we talk throughout the week and you practice and then you teach. How have you noticed that they influence what you do as a teacher as well as a learner?
Oh, that's a perfect question. So, well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
When we had our first class, I remember, I felt that, well, right now I'm a student and I'm looking forward to having that experience. And I thought that, okay, as a student, what are my weakest points? What are my goals that I want to accomplish here? And I thought, okay, I would like to focus more on writing because I haven't done that a lot. And I was doing more speaking practices. And so then you asked me a good question. You asked me that question, the key question, which I think is just, will totally describe your program and what you are doing. You said, well, what are your skills in your own language? Yeah. Which languages do you speak? And then do you use these skills in your own language or languages? That made me think. Yeah. I was like, okay, my languages are Ukrainian and Russian. And I thought, well, I do speak a lot, but, I listen a lot, but I would not read or write as much as I would want to. And then you said, well, then you told me another thing that was an eye-opener for me. You said, well, the skills transfer. And I was like, okay, I haven't thought about that. So I thought, okay, well, the skills transfer, and then, well, what should I do then to boost my skills? Well, I started reading and writing, basically, in order to practice these skills. So just, getting back to your question, that was the first point, or the first focus. The second focus was that in your inclusive approach really helped me get closer to my goal, because it's not only about drills, it's not only about one way. There is a whole variety of different approaches or ways which help you to grow and get to the point where you really get what you want.
So when you say inclusive approach, you mean like the integration of the 4 skills?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Because me personally, I think that I did not understand that fully before meeting you. I don't think that I did that 100%. So you helped me. You said, well, especially you can use these 4 skills at the same time. I mean, they are intertwined. They are connected. Why would you want to use either one of those? And I was like, okay, that's a good point.
Right, because even when we're like writing, people think like, oh, I don't want to write or I don't want to read because I want to speak, but you become a better speaker through practicing writing as well, because you have time to think about what you're going to say and organize how you're going to say it and get that structure out for your speaking as well too.
Yes.
And have you noticed any, since we've done all of our work in English, have you noticed any improvement in any of your other languages, or even just skills in learning overall from practice? Even though we've been practicing through English, we haven't, like, it's not like English lessons, like we don't say like, no, this is English, but everything is, reading, writing, speaking, listening, all in English. And how have you noticed, like, how you can transfer those? Because we mentioned like transfer from the native language to the second language or third language. Well, what about transferring back? Like, do you see how you could apply the skills that we've learned back to your native language to improve in those areas as well?
Okay. Well, my answer would be that literary analysis helped me with that. I mean, on one hand, literary analysis is in English, and I had to do it in English, and I'm still working on that on the second one. But when I'm reading, because literary analysis is that when you analyze the story that you are reading or the poem, so you have to read it, you have to analyze it, you have to think about it, and then you have to structure your thoughts. So that definitely helped me. And then you gave me the outlining, because I would not know about that earlier. I didn't use that. And so you gave me the help. You helped me with the structure, which I did not have before, because my writing would be more chaotic. And
yeah, we've really gotten the structure down over that has been, I think, one of the big takeaways too, over like it's just getting down that structure of not just with writing and not just with speaking and listening, but that structure overall in what you're doing, because everything has that structure, whether you are writing or you're teaching or building a course or writing a book, whatever it is, that structure that's integrate that exists throughout pretty much everything, but also that ability, like you mentioned, to integrate, to kind of flow through that within that structure.
That's right. That's right. And it helps. The structure helps.
You mentioned before that with your students that you've tried some of these techniques with your students as well. So what have the results been like with your students? How have they responded to some of these changes? Because you've been working with some of them for so long, and then now you're saying, okay, let's try this new idea. Let's try it this way. And some of them are like strategies that I use, and some of them are things that you're coming up with based on what we practiced. Like you're coming up with these new ideas to try with your students that you think would work for them. How is that going with them?
Okay, so my 9-year-old students started reading.
Oh,
so we started reading. I taught her the basics, and she started reading stories.
Oh.
Some other students started reading the books. So we read together, and then we write. We started writing with my students, and I thought, yes, finally, I get it. I get it. It works. It really works. So what I have learned from you, when I boosted my skills, they automatically transferred to my teaching. And when I started reading more, my students started reading more. I started writing, and they did the same, because I did not force them to do that. I just asked them questions, and they were very happy to try that, and they loved writing and reading. And all of them now say that, oh, I love reading books. I love reading books. Can we read more? Can we read more? And I'm like, I'm so happy, because right now I read more as well. And it's totally
it's fun, because you don't just have to memorize things all the time. You can be reading and learning. You can be learning about any topic you want and read, or just the story, and practicing your language. So it is nice to have that break from just like study and drill and study and drill.
Yes, but a person who is looking for you, for a person like you, for a coach, this person really has to know what he wants. Because you are like a well, like a source, with living water. And when I come, or when anybody comes and says, hey, Sarah, help me. Okay, you know a lot. And the person who is asking for help, he really needs to know what he's looking for, what he really wants, because you can give us as much as you know, and that can be endless, right? But we have to start from something. And right. We have to set up the goals. So that's what we did at our first meeting. And you asked very good questions.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely not for the teach me's, the ones who just want to have everything just poured into their heads and be ready to go. Like, if you want that, you can just read a textbook, or you can just go to a class. It's definitely, there's a lot of work to be done on the part of the student and on the part of the teacher. It's really more than like a teacher and student. It's more of like it's more of like a partnership working through to get to this goal. Like you said, I have information, and then I share with you what you need, but I can only share with you what you need if you tell me where you are and you answer the questions I ask.
You know, it's very important to have this cooperation, and I feel it. I have it. I mean, since the first day, I feel that support, and you are the one who knows how to guide. Not everyone knows how to guide people, right? I mean, you can see me or any other student, and you give exactly what I need at that certain moment when I ask you something, and then you have your ideas just in your head, and then you're writing something, and then that's the program. So I mean, it's a very personalized program, which makes it unique.
Yeah, and I think you pretty much got it. Like that's pretty much what it is. What people are getting when they come through this program is basically they're getting me just like looking at their like everything that they're doing and saying, okay, well, this outside perspective of you can go this way and this way and this way, and the resources that you use and go through and exercises that you do, reflection questions, and the content is all on your own. So I think that some people might see like, okay, there's the lessons, like if it's just being guided, then there's not content, but we have the content as well when it's just in a different form. It's like, I like to think of it as like the college courses that are, there's the college courses that you go to that just teach what's in the book. And like, I don't know exactly how the college system is over there. But over here we have those classes, and then we have the classes, and they're the same classes. It's just the decision of the instructor on how to teach them. So it can exist, anywhere in the world. It's not to just be here. It all comes down to the instructor. But there's the ones that just teach like, this is what's in the book, I'm explaining it to you. And then there's the ones that say, do all this reading, do all this work in between, come to class, and then let's discuss it and let's go to that higher level of forming your own opinions about it. That's really the way that I see this, and like that in-between process. Does it work that way over there in your college classes?
Not everywhere, but I prefer this approach better.
Yeah.
for the reason that you teach me how to fish.
Yeah.
Instead of just
how to fish for like,
I would use this metaphor, right? So right now I know how to do that. You're teaching me how to look for information, how to find information, how to ask questions, how not to be afraid. That was and a lot more.
Because there's so many resources out there where you can just get the content. Like you can just get, this is your content that you need for English or for Spanish or for Ukrainian, like whichever language it is. All of that content is already out there, but the lack or like the need of the education field is more of that guidance and how to actually use those resources. So I think you've really done a good job of explaining this program, and that this is going to be helpful to a lot of people who are thinking about this but maybe just don't know exactly what to think about it. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Like, just to add that, Sarah, thank you so much for creating your program, because that was exactly what I was looking for, and I'm sure that in the future your further students, your students, coming up students will learn definitely, and they will get what they want. They will meet their needs, because it's a very, I would repeat myself, but it's a very personalized program that will definitely help those students to accomplish their goals.
Thank you so much, and thank you for working with me and continuing to work with me. And it's been, I love working with my I don't even think of you guys as like students or clients. You're just like my friends that I work with. It just happens to be my job as well, working with. But yeah, I love working with you. And with
really, Sarah, having that feeling like, I have Sarah.
Yeah, it's not. It's nice because the one thing that I want to end this with, that I really did not want to have, that I just hated about like school systems and like the structures and all that was, yes, that structure is so important and to have that time, but the stress and the anxiety that comes with like, okay, I have this hour, I'm meeting with this person, I've got to get everything done in this time. That is not having having this program to be like, okay, we have an hour to meet, but we also have time to talk in between the week. Like, knowing that there is that extra time, it just like, it feels so good not to have that stress. And that's why I enjoy my program so much. And why, you know, people going through it is because I really feel, you know, like you really get to learn when you don't have to think about, okay, how do I maximize all this time and maximize all this? Like when you know that you can just go through it at your own pace and the way that you want to, and know that that's the right way to do it.
That's right. Right. That's just the work that the student and the coach are doing together in a way that it's not just an hour a week that they meet. It's every day. Every day they like. I would like to mention your
your personalized copy of the book as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to mention this book, Becoming Bilingual and Learn How to Learn Any Language workbook. And it has a lot of great questions there. And why I'm pointing out that specifically because having good questions is the key to the answers and eye opener, or there's the light bulb there in the person with then highlights of a day and then a highlight of a year, etc. So then the person would just work with this guide, and then he will or she will answer their questions.
Yeah, that's great too, and that's why I wrote that too, is so that people, like, maybe if they're not, you know, ready to work with me like in this intensive program and they're not, you know, ready for this, they also can just, you know, have that opportunity to go through it on their own. And there's a lot of the questions that I ask in that workbook as well. They're very much like the style that I use within my coaching programs. They're just not quite as personalized because I don't actually get to know each person when they read my book. But
that's right. Right. But I really liked that you gave your own answers there as well.
Examples. Yeah.
Your examples helped me think about my own life examples. So
thank you.
That really was like now I know Sarah a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
You really get to know me quite a bit through there, really cool, and all those examples. But because I know that sometimes when I read those types of books, I don't always like to write in the lines, and it's nice to have the examples, because some questions you want to write responses to, and sometimes you just want to think about it and like see, oh, this is how that should be answered. So it's nice to have that option to choose from. So yeah, I really try to provide those different options for all the different kinds of people out there. And that's right. Yeah. I know we could just go on and keep talking about this forever, but we're gonna wrap it up because this video is gonna end up being so long for our viewers. So if you made it to the end of this video and you have any questions, or for me or for Sasha or anything, feel free to leave them down below, or come over to Instagram and you can message me on there, or go over to my website. And yeah, let me know if there is anything else that you guys need, any questions, and that is it for today.